Uh-oh. Ubisoft is having a bad day, so guess whose fault it is? Well, it's, of course, as always, your fault. It's your fault you didn't open your wallet and support their DEI initiatives and just not listen to any of their crap. You should have bought that broken Star Wars Outlaws. How dare you not support DEI? So a lot of companies are freaking out right now, and it's because a lot of the shit that they've been doing over the past couple of years isn't flying anymore. And when they do a lot of this stuff, it gets backlash. Even if it's not intentional, if it just kind of looks like it, there's backlash. So this is from Grums sharing this. This is from Fast Company. Video game maker Ubisoft in chaos after anti-DEI backlash. Now, that looks like a normal headline, but when you keep reading, it starts to make more sense to where they're leaning with this. The Assassin's Creed game maker delayed its biggest launch of the year, reduced forecasts, and is facing calls to sell in what is being called an incel victory. Of course, that's what they're calling it. They're not calling it what it really is. People are just sick of this shit, and Ubisoft went completely all in with it, and now they're not making the money they thought they would. They thought, like many companies, that the modern audience would show up and save the day. And that's not what happened now, is it? There's way more. Forbes is having a little bit of a meltdown about it. Paul Tassi, a writer over there that sometimes has sometimes some good opinions, but he's also kind of set in his ways with this. He definitely doesn't like anti-woke people, for sure. After Assassin's Creed Shadows delay, Ubisoft acknowledges Outlaws issues anti-woke pushback. That's the biggest thing that a lot of these people don't like, is the anti-woke pushback, which, I mean, I'm sorry, a lot of this is anti-woke pushback. People are getting tired of it, which is why they're trying to rebrand it now. I was reading a couple of things about that. They've been trying to do it for a while with like Bridge and stuff like that. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a complete retooling of DEI. They're probably going to try to tone down the very blatant anti-white man talk and try to make it not so hostile like it has been. Like, you know, telling people that just exist, that they're garbage, trash people, like they do to cis-het men, telling them they're useless trash and they need to get out of the way and lick everybody's boots for oppression in history that people alive today had nothing to do with. It's wild. So they're very mad about this. And the reason they're mad is because, well, I mean, Ubisoft acknowledged the backlash. I mean, that's why they canceled Assassin's Creed. They didn't cancel it, they delayed it. Make no mistake about it. The backlash led to low pre-orders. And the pre-orders for that game are low. That's why they're refunding everybody, which people are very confused about. They released another statement at 1:31 p.m. saying, following our recent announcement, we understand there are many questions on how pre-orders will be impacted, especially for collector's editions. Rest assured, we are working with retailers and digital stores, and more updates will come soon. Thank you for understanding. So that means retailers are having these pulled. What's like GameStop going to do? I thought this was just going to be on their store. Apparently, there's more than this. So what a shit show this is. This is crazy. So they don't just have this problem. They also have this problem. Ubisoft appears to confirm rumors that XDefiant is struggling. Says it was behind expectations for the game. This is another shit show that a lot of people don't even talk about. Probably because I don't think a lot of people even know this game exists. It's like a free-to-play Call of Duty clone. And there's nothing really wrong with it. It just isn't taking off. No one wants to play it. And I haven't spent any time with the game, but as you can see from looking at it, it looks a lot like Call of Duty, especially in this screenshot right here. But is Ubisoft going to learn anything from any of this? Well, signs point to no. I mean, I think they're going to learn to try to hide shit better. But this is their biggest problem. So a YouTuber did an interview with some of the Ubisoft developers and asked them about how they take all of this criticism. And you can see from the headline, Ubisoft developers reportedly revealed company brushes off legitimate criticism as toxic gamer talk. Okay. I mean, we saw this with Firewalk Studios in Concord. Remember, we learned they're not paying attention to any of it. They don't care. They're not going to hear any of your toxic criticism. Well, how'd it work out for Concord? And you're kind of seeing the same thing with Ubisoft. I mean, look at all of the shit that they're doing. I talked about this somewhat in a video yesterday. There's so much shit that they're doing. Like, because they came out and they're like, we're not trying to push any agenda. And are you sure about that? We can just go through the list. And I showed a few things like that mentorship program they're doing for an internship. If you're a man, don't apply, basically. Then you have the Rainbow Six wheelchair operator, all the shit going on with Star Wars and Assassin's Creed. There's all kinds of stuff that has happened over there. And this is off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Like Ubisoft is a completely different company than it used to be. But I'm not surprised by this, but it's nice to hear it, confirmed. So, alleged Ubisoft developers claim that the company either ignores legitimate criticism of its business practices and games or brushes it off as toxic gamer talk. They also claim that the company's DEI policies have led to loss of talent in both technical expertise as well as creativity. Yeah, I 100% believe that. That happened to Disney, too, by the way, pushing out a lot of people to bring in a lot of these DEI hires. And look at what happened to them. Who really got hurt by that, all of that, is Pixar. Now, they had a hit this year, but they also had a string of failures. YouTuber Legendary Drops reports he spoke with a number of Ubisoft developers and specifically asked one how Ubisoft internalizes and discusses general criticism from players and the rest of the industry, whether that it's repetitive design, agenda-driven content, or predictable games. The developer responded, at a high level, they rarely talk about it. At a project level, they brush it off as toxic gamer talk. As Asmongold correctly pointed out in one of his videos, Ubisoft is filled with toxic positivity, and it prevents growth. After being asked about Japanese gamers sharing their own criticism of Assassin's Creed, the developer stated the criticism hasn't been talked about and Ubisoft only issued demands that we mustn't engage with discussion of that topic publicly, which they did end up doing, by the way, putting that statement out apologizing for all of their mistakes, which were preventable, by the way, had they actually hired people that were qualified in going over Japanese culture and history. Instead, they got a bunch of weirdos, like a communist, someone that's main research focus is sexual relationships and stuff. Like, what the hell are you doing? You know what probably happened with those is somebody hired a couple of their buddies, especially that professor who researches sex things. Like, why is this person commenting on Japanese history? It's so weird. It's like they went to the dollar store and grabbed experts, quote unquote. So none of this blows me away. None of this surprises me, but it's always nice to hear it confirmed, which it has been right here. So this is from, like I said, Legendary Drops. That's where that Park Place got that. The video's called I Talked to Ubisoft Devs. It's far worse than we thought. Check that out. It's a pretty good video. And yeah, the bad times for Ubisoft, far from over, my friends. This company is going to have some learning pains, I think, that last into 2026. Because, they have shit they're going to announce for next year, and that stuff is going to be just as bad as the stuff they've put out this year. They are going to have to turn this ship around, and it's going to take time for that to happen. Because remember, a lot of this stuff has been in development for years. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.